Hello, my friends. It's the Crypto Lunatic live from the Lunar Café, bringing you hidden gems before they pop and simplifying the language of crypto for newcomers to the space. And today I bring you an interesting project. So, as you know, I like to bring you lower cap gems, what I think are gems, and just to bring your awareness and to educate you as to what they are and how to look for value. And today we're going to look at this little project in the background, Spark. I'm going to show you how I found it. I'm going to show you what it is, and I'm going to do a little bit of digging into it. And this is really a resource just to show you how to do your own research. Now, before we go on, I'm not invested in Spark. I'm not paid by the team. So this is a completely neutral review for you degens out there, so you can make your own decisions before even looking into any of these coins. So without further ado, join me on a little journey, my friends, on a little journey. So it started here. Last week, I was teaching people on a video how to use DeFi Llama. And we will look at this. We see all of last week. We always start with ETF inflows. We see last week was a very good week for crypto because all of the big money was flooding into crypto, which tells me the people with the money and the knowledge are investing in Bitcoin right now. So anyone telling us that there's a bear market here is just simply wrong. It just isn't the case. The week before that, yes, everyone was panicking. Look, and not nearly as much money came out as went in it last week. So there you go. There's the relative. The crypto market's looking in fairly good shape. And we went down and I started telling people to look at these figures: total value locked, changes, and revenue over 24 hours. So total value locked is the money locked in the project, and revenue is the amount of money that it's actually making, my friends. So let's click here with revenue. We click there. Now, what we're trying to find with revenue is good revenue with small market cap. Now, anything that isn't here isn't one of the isn't something that we can trade. Now, Tether is a stable coin. Circle is a stable coin. Now, I want you to note Circle because that's going to be very relevant for this review, that it's massive. Circle makes 7.86 million every day, or it is at the moment. So it's a big, big player. So as we go down, we're looking at value locked and we're looking for small numbers here. Small numbers here, my friend, as we go down. And so when we get down to round about here, we see this one. Look, lots of green, massive amounts of total value locked. Now, bear in mind, look, 9.47 billion locked into this spark. We see green, green, green. And look, on this page, there's not many that have got green all 3 days. This has been growing, growing, growing. We see a tiny number here. On the surface, this ticks every metric that I would be interested in, which is why we're going to look at Spark today. I was curious, what is this project that's making a six-figure sum every day in revenue? In not just turnover, this is actual profit. So fees is how much it charges, but revenue is how much it puts in its own bank account. So this is making a six-figure revenue on a daily basis at the moment, and that's why we're looking into it. I thought, hang on, Spark looks interesting. It looks interesting, and not only that, let's look at this total value locked. We see as of here on the 8th of April, where there was 2.31 billion in it, it has just shot up, shot up. It's had a bit of a retrace, but it's still, the trajectory is high. So it's gone from roughly 2 billion to over 9 billion since April. Now that is none too shabby, my friends. None too shabby between April and October that it has had such an increase in total value locked. So we go here and we see, look, a market cap of less than 100 million. Now, this isn't quite the degen zone, but this is low enough cap to be interesting for you degens. So how would I rate this crypto? It's definitely not super high risk like most of the stuff I talk about here. It is established, but it's low enough market cap to be interesting. Tokenomics, not so great because the fully diluted value is 512 million from a 92 million market cap. which tells me that under 20% of the supply is in circulation. Now, I'm going to explain to you why that's not quite so savage for this particular crypto. In fact, I'll tell you right now. It's because the next unlock is almost a year away, which means there's not going to be any significant price dilution in the next 10 to 11 months because of unlocks. So this is unlike most projects that are unlocking. We see it started life here. See it started here at 0.07. So it's down on what it started life with back in June. And you can see that it's on a lower level than it was then. But if we go back to here, my friends, to July, this was trading at 17 cents. So it has been up, it's making profit, and we've seen volume coming into it. It's on Coinbase and Binance, the two top tier exchanges, and other top tier exchanges there. Great listings. Tokenomics not so great, but here, look, here's the vesting schedule. Now, there's no major real unlocks until here. So not until June 2026 do we have to start worrying about serious unlocks with this project. So for that reason, that's not major unlocks here. So not great, but it's not terrible either. And we see that there's 14,000 holders. Now, with a protocol like this, we would expect the top 10 wallets to have big because they are the holding wallets. And we will find out what this is. I will explain what it is as we move forward. So I asked Grok, I said, what is Spark? Tell us. Tell us what it is. So it's a decentralized finance protocol that acts like a smart bank. So this is as close as we have to a crypto bank, my friends, where you can put in your stable coins and you can earn interest on them and they lend them out. So it's like a crypto bank. It's decentralized finance. You can earn interest on your stable coins by keeping them in Spark. Now, as we will cover, there's other players in this, but does it have a true USP? So this is what I wanted to know, unique selling point. So it's got massive built-in reserves because of Sky's huge stablecoin pool for cheap, reliable capital. So there's no need to change third-party lending. Now that's massive, that it has such great liquidity because it is attached to Sky. So this is a unique selling point. For a low-cap crypto, it has a massive, massive backer, which means they ain't going to run out of money unless there's absolute devastation. Unless we have a FTX style fallout, which is possible, but as we will see as we move on, I don't think that's going to happen here. So capital allocator role, instead of just peer-to-peer lending, Spark allocates funds across chains and protocols, either real world assets or centralized finance, acting like DeFi treasury manager. This boosts overall ecosystem liquidity and predictability. So, and the tokenomics, well, we know about the tokenomics, but this explains what it does with them. So the ecosystem and liquidity get 23%, that unlocks between 3 and 5 years. Farming rewards is 50% of the tokens. So this is distributed over 10 years via staking, and the team and advisors get 12% with a 1-year cliff before they start getting their tokens back. Investors from the seed round, 10%, and community airdrops 5%. So although the tokenomics don't look great, they're not that bad either, based on the vesting unlock schedule and the delay. So team strength, we've got a good, strong team, which we'll look into later here. So we've got the founder of MakerDAO, or the finance tech, ex-MakerDAO, which was an established protocol. Lucas Manuel from Maple Finance, institutional lending. Now, Maple Finance has had a massive boost. I've done a review on this. This was a really solid project, solid track record. And Chris, the lead engineering, the co-founder of L2 Beat. So these are an experienced team, as we will go into a little bit more detail later on. Advisors include heavyweights like Justin Sun, Vance Spencer. So here we go. I mean, these are big names in crypto. It's got a bull case, but we're going to go into that. We go to the tokenomics, and we see on Binance that most of the tokens are in exchange wallets here. So we're not going to read too much into that. We go to Nansen, we see the liquidity. Oh, one more step. We won't see the liquidity. Nansen's going to slow me down. But it shows you well over 1 million liquidity in there, I can tell you because I saw it earlier. So we move to X. Now, X has got 74,000 followers and it's powering decentralized finance with 3 billion in liquidity, supply, borrow, earn with competitive rates, seamless access and scalable liquidity, institutional grade decentralized finance for everyone. It's a crypto bank, my friends. Now, I can't call it that because of regulations, but that's what it is. It is a way to earn interest, much more interest than you would in a standard bank. So this is what the banks don't want you to know, that if you took your money out and converted them into stable coins, you'd be earning significantly more interest than you would on your money if it was stuck in a normal bank account where you're going to lose spending power. We see a reasonably active social media account here, reasonably active, which is pretty good. So we look at their website. Very simple. Look, put your stable coins in and earn 4.75 on your stable coins. So yes, there's better percentages out there for sure. But this is a very solid, safer project with institutional backing. So they're obviously going for credibility, team strength, and institutional backing. The odds of this getting rugged are much lower than the average project because of the institutional backing it has. We go to crypto rank and we see that this is talking, it doesn't really tell us much that we haven't already covered. Tells us the market cap, tells us what we already know. And this is the main thing, that the next unlock isn't for 253 days. So for that reason, if you're getting out, which you probably will be getting out before here, unless you're a complete lunatic, because I'm pretty certain the bull cycle will be dipping down by this stage. So in the short term, I would say you want to get in and probably get out well before here. But I could be wrong. I'm just a lunatic. And finally, I have my little prompt that I put in to Claude. So let's put that there. So a few of you have asked me, how is this prompt? What am I doing with it? How do you get it? So let me just start with this. This is an evolving prompt. This is definitely not something that we use for verbatim. It is evolving. It's getting better. I'm getting better at prompt writing. This is an overview based on as many metrics as I could put in as I evolve my prompt writing skills. So on that basis, it's not ready for sharing yet. So it's just a rough overview. Now, most of this, I'm just going to scroll down and you can pause it and you can read it yourself because it's quite detailed. But it just goes through stuff that we've already done, like the team identity, very credible team. On the smart contract security, very low risk. It's been audited. So liquidity market access, it's on top tier exchanges, which we've looked at, which is really, really credible. Distribution, we've covered that. Not brilliant, but not terrible either, based on what it looks like at first sight. No obvious red flags on this one. We couldn't detect any. Important that we go for warning signs minor, so high fully diluted value, market cap ratio, so significant token unlock schedule ahead. Again, we don't really need to worry about this for 250 odd days. So the US restrictions, but US is crypto friendly now. So the odds are this isn't going to be as big a issue. And a recent launch. So the token recently launched in June 2025. So there's limited price history. So decision point, proceed. So here's a few metrics that you can look through should you wish to. As I say, this is a very detailed prompt, so I'm not going to bore you with lots of stuff. You're welcome to pause it and go through it if you wish. So it's on top tier exchanges. This is some of the benchmarks that it's covered. It goes into things like tokenomics and supply dynamics, which we've already looked at. We can see the farming emission schedule here. Critical unlock events, not until another year ahead. So A lot of information on this prompt that goes through that really just gets us to the point, can we trust it or not? Is there any flags? Is there any cautionary things? So product technology, fundamentals, a mature project. So key products, we've got Spark Lend, Spark Savings, and Spark Liquidity. So these are all, it's acting pretty much like a crypto bank. So product differentiation. So here we see it's competing with the likes of Aave, which is a major player, Compound and Morpho. And you can compare statistics here. So stable rates, it has this. Aave, Compound, and Morpho don't have this. So real world assets integration, yes, it does, but Aave, Compound, and Morpho don't have that. A liquidity layer, they don't have that. And sky backing, massive reserves. So it does have a unique edge in a very crowded, busy market. It has unique selling points. So let's go down to competitive moats. And it just gives it very strong, between strong and moderate, except for first mover advantage. That's the one area it doesn't have any significant advantage. But its overall competitive position is a strong contender. The team execution assessment. Now, this is exceptional. The team, it gets an exceptional rating, 24 out of 25. Unbelievable how strong the team are. The team is so important in any project, and there's a clearly established team behind Spark. So again, overall team score exceptional, 22 out of 25. So a lot of strengths here. Advisors and backers, strength, strategic partners. Now here we go. Look, there they are, BlackRock. We know if BlackRock are involved, it's probably going to do all right, folks. That has come to pass in pretty much everything. Whether you love or hate them, probably more towards the hate. They know how to make money, and if they're behind this, you can be sure that this is going to make money. For a little low cap lending protocol. Now, this is not, as I say, this is established business. This has got profits coming in. We can measure that. So this is about de-risking your degen portfolio. As far as degen plays, this is a much lower risk because we can see that it is making money currently, my friends, currently. So again, there is a lot of information on this prompt, and I'm definitely not going to read it through in its entirety. You're welcome to pause the video and read through should you wish to. And I will just keep moving it down slowly so that you can look through it. But the final assessment is the main reason, which is a 7.75. So there you go. It's not stunning, but it's pretty high for a low cap coin, my friends. And they're rating it as a moderate buy. But again, this prompt is a work in progress. So do not read too much into that. I'm still upgrading it. I'm still working on it. I'm still evolving it because prompt writing is an area of expertise that I'm training myself in at the moment. But Spark does look like an interesting play. I'm not invested in it, but let me know what you think. Is Spark, do you think this is going to be the next, this is going to be, it's going to shoot up and compete with the likes of Aave and Morpho? Well, I don't know, but it could be the future, and this could be a very interesting play indeed. And if you have enjoyed this content, my friends, then do show the video a bit of love, like, and subscribe for more of the same. You want another video, you'll find that there. But either way, my friends, stay lunatic, have fun, and make money with crypto.